A foreign relations expert is proposing a practical response for the Philippines to the recent water cannon incident involving the Chinese Coast Guard in a Philippine vessel in Ayungin Shoal. MJ Mondejar has the details.
The bombing of a Philippine Coast Guard ship by the Chinese Coast Guard at a resupply mission in Ayungin Shoal in the West Philippine Sea has drawn criticisms in Congress. In fact, they have summoned officials from the Chinese embassy to explain.
What if we have already exhausted all efforts? 200 plus na diplomatic protest simula ng panahon ni Pinoy. Saka ilang dosena na note verbale. Nakailang back-channeling na, pati si Trillanes, napasama pa dyan. Ang pinakalitis niya, si dating Pangulong Duterte.
This all stems on the unresolved status of the Spratlys after World War II.
However, according to foreign relations expert Sasrogando Sasot, there is a deep history behind China's claim to the disputed territory. Based on a 1994 study by the University of Maine School of Law, France was the first contender to the Spratlys back in the 1800s. This continued until the 1887 delimitation of the frontier treaty with China. However, in 1939, Japan occupied the Spratlys during the World War II and renamed them the Shinangunto Archipelago. In 1945, Japan left the area at the end of the war.
And of course, Japan, because they were the strongest nations during that time na makakatayo laban dito sa mga Western colonizers.
In 1956, a Filipino lawyer and businessman named Thomas Coma claimed some islands in the Spratlys. This marked the birth of the Kalayaan Islands. According to Murphy's book, the Philippines based its original claim to the Spratlys on this. In 1978, former President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. formally declared 8 islands in the Spratlys known as the Kalayaan Group of Islands under Presidential Decree 1596. In 1988, China began exercising power in the Spratlys. Vietnam also made claims during the same time involving the Paracel Islands. Several nations claimed parts of the disputed territory as part of their archipelagos. According to Sasot, the Philippines faced challenges in its 2016 arbitration case against China over the West Philippine Sea issue.
The Philippines kasi would claim na yung mga sinilista nila doon is part of the Kalayaan Island Group, ma-resolve kasi yung kaso eh. Okay? Ma-resolve. Kasi nga, it will become a territory, it would reveal the true essence of the dispute, which is a territorial dispute, and it is not under the jurisdiction of the arbitration court. So what they did is that they actually discarded PD 5096 and seemingly argued that UNCLOS actually kind of superseded PD 5096 of Marcos. So now, ang pinaglalaban natin is sovereign rights over the shoal. Ang pinaglalaban ng Vietnam and China, they have sovereignty over the shoal because it is part of the archipelago na kiniklaim nila. So I hope that people realize the difference between the two and which one has a higher claim. It's gonna be Vietnam and China. Kasi nga, they don't really care, whether the Ayungin Shoal is a low tide elevation.
Regarding the water cannon incident, Sasot said that China and other countries also employ such tactics. She said it was better that China used water rather than actual bullets and bombs to assert its claims in the disputed territory. She also called on the Philippine Coast Guard and those who want to challenge China, including the United States, to equip their Coast Guards with water cannons as well.
Gusto mo ngayon, you would like to counter water with U.S. military might. Naku, mapuputokan ka dyan. It's like using a hammer in order to kill a fly. So that is not a proportional response, no? Well, I'm not saying that the Philippines would just need to accept this. Well, kung gusto nyo lumaban, then equip our Coast Guards with water cannons as well. Magbugahan sila dyan ng water cannon, just like what Japanese Coast Guards and Coast Guards of Taiwan do to each other.
If pushed through, the investigation will cover not only the West Philippine Sea issue, but also the reclamation issue at the Manila Bay. For Ganamabul of Philippines, MJ Mondejar, SMNI News.